My class yesterday asked the difference between tools and tactics. What's the difference between tools and tactics? Can they be used interchangeably?
Yes.
In this case, they can be used interchangeably. Okay, so if I were to ask you, right, what tactics, which is a very typical question, right? So you must know what tactics can a company utilize. What tactics can a company use? All right? And now I realize I'm being recorded. Hi. Okay, so you must know about tactics. You must know about objective strategies. These are tools and tactics that you can use. So if I were to ask you, before I forget, please remember when you go in, I told this to my class yesterday, and I'll repeat everything I said to my class to the other class as well. When you go into the test, you must go in with examples in your head. Okay? 90% or even 95% of the questions require you to come up with examples or use an example to illustrate, to explain. So I don't want you to waste your time thinking or start dreaming up examples. I want you to go in there straight away. I ask you this concept. Okay, I'm going to use this. Okay, I'm going to use that. Okay, so please go in with examples in your head. Can you use examples from my lecture notes?
Yes.
Why not? Right? They're the best. Easier for me to mark. A bit boring, but okay, that's all we could think of. Okay, but still correct. Right? It's not wrong. Then you're very safe. Okay? So, typically, you must know what a company can do or what a PR executive or PR manager can recommend or propose. Because this subject is about public relations and what they should do, so you must know. Okay? You must be able to suggest to me if a company is supposed to what? You're supposed to launch a product, supposed to launch an event, whatever. Please, you must be able to tell me what they can do. And then substantiate and justify why they should do this. If you just give me, they should have social media posts, full stop. Are you going to get full marks? Are you going to get the distinction? Maybe half mark or something like that, right? The way I have done it, I think in tutorial, the questions, as I told my class yesterday, will be open-ended. The questions in my test, in my MST, are all, I promise you, any 2, any 3, any 4. So it's very, very clear how many I'm looking out for. And if you just give me that keyword, that point, you probably only get like half mark, 1 mark. I want to see the elaboration and the explanation. Alright? So then I show you what examples are. So again, if you cannot dream up in time or cannot think of interesting examples that you want to dazzle me with, then use the examples that I already gave you. Alright? You must know your ROSTIR, R-O-S-T-I-R. You must know what exactly research is, what exactly objectives, strategies, tactics, implementation, reporting, and evaluation is. You must be able to identify, if I were to ask you, right, what is research in this paragraph, what is research or whatever. You must know what are the common situations, right? Why companies need to have a PR campaign. Again, this subject is about public relations, therefore you must know, right? Why these situations call for a PR plan. In my class, I said that probably, in my opinion, the 2 hardest to handle as a PR manager would be the negative situation ones, right? Depending on how the question is, if at all it comes out, if the question is the way it's crafted, I will ask you 2, 3, 4 and explain why this is blah, 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 that kind of thing, right? I will never ask you for all 7. I'm not evil that way. So I always tell my students, pick the ones that you're most conversant in, the ones that you feel you can write the most on. Okay?
So max 3.
What?
Max 3.
Max what?
Makes you clear like that.
I really cannot recall. I really cannot. Paper's not here with me right now, but I really honestly cannot recall. But if there's 7 there, right? Based on this, there are 7 points there, right? What do you think is a safe way to?
4 lah.
Huh?
4 safe.
Right? Isn't it? Right?
3 is
3 is cutting it close lah. Isn't it safe to at least 4 to 5?
again.
Okay? So again, be careful how you elaborate. That's what I will see how you elaborate as well. And if you're not very sure as you're studying how to elaborate, what do? Turn to Google. Okay? Google this book, right? Many occasions where I just Google a certain line or whatever, right? Certain points will come up. Is this book exactly that is mentioned in this set of lecture notes? Okay, then you would be able to possibly, I'm sure you all know this, possibly get some ideas on how to elaborate. If not, any PR book that you can find or any PR resource online will be able to help you to expand a little. Alright? Okay, on to set 2. I'm going by lecture notes. Are you following?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, that waffles.
Right.
And I've not had it. I hear it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Is it? Good. What's your name, by the way? Okay, thanks for help. For making me hungry. And so we therefore aim to end by 12 o'clock. Okay? In set 2, lecture 2, I went through with you already in your questions as well in your tutorial what exactly research is, right? So you should know, like I said, what exactly research is because it is part of your ROSTIR. Okay? So these are examples, typical cases of, if you haven't already downloaded the notes, right? These are typical examples that you can use for the 7 common situations, right? If not, go Google examples for the 7 common situations. If not, then use the examples that I've already given you in my lecture notes, right? Who exactly are your publics? Because you study PR or public relations, you therefore have to understand what or who exactly are your publics. Alright?
So when we go online,
Hmm?
so online public is
What? And I'll always have in each lecture, one student will try his luck and ask. Andy's that one. Yes, Andy, what?
I mean, she's going through it.
so we have to go to 9 basic
That's
public.
open book.
You have to understand, right?
No, no, she's here.
Yeah, you have to understand who your public is. Okay? It doesn't mean that just because I go through, right, you don't read your notes. Do you still have to read through your notes?
Yeah.
If you don't, it means you won't get a complete understanding. Right? Okay, so I highly recommend that you at least go through all your notes and read through. What is public opinion? And we went through this already in tutorial as well, why public opinion is so important. It is very powerful. So these are sentences or terms that you can use in your answers to pad your answers, right? Why public opinion is important, blah, 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 right? And then we talked about opinion leaders. You have your formal opinion leaders as well as your informal opinion leaders. Who are your informal opinion leaders? Who are your informal opinion leaders?
Your friend.
Right? Your influencers. And this is how the opinions flow. We went through this. Uses of persuasion. Right? We talked about this as well. And there are actually 8 creative ways that PR managers or PR executives can craft their messages, right? So you must know that there are 8 ways. You must be able to talk a little about these ways. How you can actually craft really, or the PR manager can actually craft really interesting press releases or messages by talking about audience, right? If they know, or you as a PR executive, if you were to know what exactly your audience is or who exactly your audience is, the demographics, the psychographics, how they behave and all that, you'll then be able to craft a really, really good PR campaign, right? If you have a credible source, we've talked about this a couple of times. If you have someone in the company that is who can be quoted very often in the media, it therefore lends credibility to your company. It gives you more PR, more press. I gave this example to my class, when the plane crashed, any plane crashes, unfortunately, right? Quite often, okay, it's featured on TV, it's featured on, say, radio, featured in the press, right? Quite often, I've noticed, they will get a quote from someone, right? Or they want to interview someone, like what do you think could have been the cause, whatever. Apart from talking to aviation experts from CAS, that kind of thing, right? They also very often come to our lecturers from aviation, right? So quite a lot of times, they've asked our lecturers or our director or whoever from the aviation side to comment on, say, a plane crash or something like that, right? So that lends credibility to the diploma, to the school, right? And that's how you can create persuasive messages and make your boss look good as well. So as a PR firm, you want to do that. Okay? So go through.
For the source of credibility, right? If let's say they ask for a question like video like this, and let's say we pick out some credibility, we have to explain the play, this is the right side. This is security or what shit, that one.
You're very pointed, I know.
Or should we like give examples instead of like those things?
Depends on how depends on if the question comes up and if it's crafted in a certain way, it will be quite clear. And these are your major points, right? But these are points that you can use to expand.
To further elaborate.
Okay? But your 8 are the major points. Okay? For you to craft persuasive messages. The easiest one probably for everyone to write would be these. Content and structure of messages. Right? The easiest to write. Normally when something dramatic happens, then you can write something very interesting and you can craft persuasive messages. Statistics, I mentioned this before as well. People love to read statistics. The minute you quote 80% or whatever, or 90%, or only a dismal 5% showed interest in blah blah blah, people will always read it. Right? Like this morning, I think it was reported that Aladdin was the top, box office kind of thing,
I'm serious.
And I was like, what? Because
Serious?
yeah, I'm like, what? Because there was no other movie released except for John Wick, I think. And so that's why it could make it to number 1. Right? It's probably I'd rather watch a cartoon than watch that. But apparently it got so then it strikes gets your attention because they mention, like top highest grossing, whatever, and there's a statistics there, how much they made that weekend, that kind of thing. Okay? Okay. Lecture 3, I largely went through again all the examples which were repeated, and then we went through objectives. Okay. We did this in tutorial already. A bit confusing, a bit difficult, right?
Screen is black.
Hmm?
That's every.
Screen is black. Strange. Means the vision is over. Just study slide. Actually, it's more about acquisition.
You can hear whatever you say. have to find my portfolio everything there. There's nowhere to go. You just put all there, all your certs.
Okay, so in set 3, I'll explain to you more about peso as well. Again, like I said, you must know what exactly peso is. Roster and peso should roll off your tongue by now. Peso is paid, own. Okay? You must be able to give examples. What exactly is paid, earned, shared, and owned? You must be able to identify and apply what exactly is peso. Right? Okay, and I've given you so many examples in all of this. Okay? And that is set 3.
So there's peso.
That's right.
Sure, I have a question.
Yes.
For social media, right? Why is it shared not owned?
Why is it what?
Why is it shared but not owned?
Why is it shared? But it can be owned as well. It can be. Why can a social media post be owned and shared? I will accept the way you justify it. Okay? Whatever, it's very, very important the way you justify it. Can anybody tell me why a social media posting, okay, if the company decides to use social media as one of its tactics, why can it be owned and can it be shared as well, right? That's your why. Can anybody just share? Of course it's owned because
They can control what they post.
that's very, very direct. A very like literal way they own the account. Own media means company produces it, right? Typical example would be your brochures, your flyers, your website, whatever they create and all that. All that is owned. And they would have created as well the social media posting, how they want it to look, right, before they post it. That is therefore owned, right? Then why is social media as well part of shared? Why is it shared? Why can it be shared as well? And what happens largely with social media really? It is all about sharing, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, remember in your
Tactics.
you know what I'm looking for. Huh? So there are things which you will see, right, are overlapping. They are overlapping. Okay, so you've got informal outreach, for example, share and own, blogging and all that is overlapping.
But then you say the social media channels is not overlapping there.
It is shared, right? Those are your social media channels. But if you explain to me by creating
A post.
something before they post, isn't that own?
Yeah.
As a company, I have to create that particular material before I post it on social media. So whatever I create for social media, let's say you are a PR executive of some company already, and you are creating that particular, like the layout and the captions and everything, right? Isn't that own? Because you are creating the material, right, which is actually this part. You are creating the material to be posted. So in other words, it's like you are creating, see, your digital collateral. So this goes into your social media channel. So you should explain it as digital collateral. That is own. Clear?
Then the only shared aspect is when other people.
When it comes here, when you put it onto your Instagram, your Facebook, right? And people start sharing.
Oh.
Okay? So use this. This is the best way for you to, this is actually the one from the textbook. This is the best one for you to get all your examples of your tactics and how it's very clearly defined as what is paid, what is earned, what is shared, what is owned. This is the clearest. So you must go through this and then quote from here, you will never go wrong.
You should stop.
Alright?
I think it's strapping. I think it's strapping. Yeah, the people. Study it. lesson.
Set 4, very
Lesson
important.
I wait for.
A lot of things for you to take note of.
The kids come on lesson.
Like I said, in the tutorial, we've done it already. What exactly is roster, R-O-S-T-I-R? I could ask you to outline or to tell me how the company or the organization developed a PR campaign. Then you should be able to quote to me how they developed it using the roster strategy or the roster model. So the two models that you must know, roster and PESO. Okay? I could ask you to outline or to tell me how the PR campaign was developed. And then you need to use the roster model to explain to me. Alright? Again, I'm going to stress again, PESO. I could ask you the tactics that were used in the campaign. So if I ask you what were the tactics that were used, then you know I am looking for PESO. Alright?
Okay.
So this deck goes into your earned media, your PESO exactly. Right? You must know what exactly earned media is.
Yes.
You must know its characteristics. You must be able to tell me what are the advantages of using, what are the disadvantages of using earned media. And that applies for, before I click through, right, that applies for all four. You must be able to tell me advantages, disadvantages, why you would use this, why you wouldn't use that. Because as a PR consultant next time, you need to know why you should use this, why you should use that, when you should use this, when you should not use that. So therefore, you need, and that's why I've actually highlighted in red, for example, this disadvantages are it lacks control, does not require payment. You can only control what you share, but not the final product, things like that. So I would suggest that you do that as well. What are the disadvantages? What are the advantages of each particular one? Which is all the way again. Have it? Huh? Okay, identify yourself, okay? If not, I have to redo the slide. Advantages and disadvantages. Right? Okay?
But you will accept.
I will accept. I will always accept answers that are justified well.
Makes sense, right?
Mm.
That's why I said make sense.
And so I've also told my class, if you cannot remember key points,
Yes.
if you cannot remember, I've always had students who cannot remember the keyword, the key points. Use an example to explain. If you can explain to me using an example, I will still give you marks. But of course not full marks because you did not hit the concept. What we want to see is that you're able to apply the concept and use the words that we want to see, things like public opinion, things like paid, earn, shared, own, that kind of thing, you know. We want to see that, but if you cannot recall, then use examples to explain. At least give me the chance as I mark to give you some marks. Alright? If you cannot remember the exact words, so you memorize, but you all of a sudden forgot all the words. Alright?
There's no goal, actually.
It is open book. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, it is open book.
The side.
This is my first open book test. I've always had.
Just you have to
Yeah.
identify.
All my tests and exams are always, so I keep forgetting. Thank you for reminding me that, you know, it's open book. You guys are such a blessed lot
Yeah,
that it's
that's right.
open book. Why am I even doing this? You can copy every single thing on your A4, right? Okay, we went through this in tutorial already. I actually bring my notes and I've already noted what I need to go through. Okay, you need to of course also understand what your news values are. Okay, we've gone through this in tutorial as well. Why do we say news values is important? Because you can use these news values in order to get your press release featured or picked up by the press or the media. Okay, so your stories therefore should be novel, they should be create an impact, or they should be timely, they should be something that is prominent. Okay? You must be able to understand that. And these are your tactics. So again, I've given you so many examples of tactics. Your press conference, your interview, your media tours, and things like that.
So this is the same.
So you must be able to apply.
This is the same tactics as the resource one tactics. Okay.
Okay? So that's why I say you cannot go wrong. Right? It will be very difficult to go wrong. Given you examples of all the news releases as well, so please read through. So you must know again, right? Your own media, your earned media, the advantages and disadvantages. Alright? Again, please go and highlight what you think advantages are, what you think disadvantages are. Okay? There you go. Again, you need to know. I highlighted for a certain reason when I lectured, I concentrated on these things and explained to you. So you must understand that. Okay? And your shared media. And I gave you an explanation of all of this, which I think you don't need actually. You know what all your social media channels are like. But I gave you examples as well. Okay? Very good timing, right? As the word or the subject, as the topic suggests, content PR. Right now, everything you do in marketing as well as public relations is all about creating content. If you create interesting enough content, then your viewers are going to want to watch the show, your viewers are going to want to read the article or want to pay attention or listen to what is on the radio. So you need to understand what creating good content is all about. Okay? You must know how to craft good content, right? How you storytell and how you can actually put it all together or pull it all together. So you must know how to craft better stories. And I've given you some points here. What exactly do you need to do for the target public? You need to set the context as well, and you need to have some empathy. You need to consider how your products and services could meet their unique circumstances. And you must know, as a PR executive or a PR consultant, how to decide on what kind of content you should put out there. Okay? So in order to decide what content to put out there, you therefore need to know, for example, who exactly is your target audience. You therefore need to research. Find out the demographics, psychographics. Is your target audience younger, older, middle age? Only when you understand and know your target audience better, then you can put out the appropriate or the most appealing content. Okay, so that's one way to explain your answer. Another point, how to decide on content, you consider the consumer purchase decision journey. As a consumer, when we buy, actually we don't even realize we go through the consumer decision journey. For the benefit of those who haven't already downloaded everything on LMS, there's a lot of notes that you can go in there to download. Alright, including the consumer purchase decision journey, which maps out the steps for you. Right? There are a lot of websites that I've listed there as well, so spend some time before your papers start next week to go through there and then quickly download things that you think will be useful to you. Throw it all in one folder, then when you revise, you can just revise from the PDFs or whatever is more convenient for you. Okay, and then copy all the points that you need to. So you must know how the PR consultant will decide on content. You must know some points. What makes your audience tick? As a PR consultant, you need to know, right? What would garner the most likes, the most comments? What would, for example, if you're talking about a drink, let's not talk about bubble tea because it doesn't excite you, right? But if you're talking about a drink that excites you, what's the kind of drink that excites you besides liquor? Besides alcohol? Besides alcohol, that excites me too, but I can't drink with students. What drink excites you?
Air Kartira.
Apa tu?
Air Kartira.
Apa air Kartira?
It's a drink you always drink before you breakfast.
Is it? Dalam ada apa?
It's It's even for other corn or bandung or like.
You corn,
Oh, is it? So
gross.
is it like milky with santan or is it? Milk. Wow, that must be very rich. Okay. Okay, so I don't think that excites everyone, right? But I don't know. Interesting. Thanks for sharing. I didn't know that it's such a drink. Milo. Yeah, that's true. That excites everyone, right? The Milo truck.
Oh,
Does that not still excite you? Apparently that excites a lot of people. I was
Every-
reading a
every
post
single Milo tastes
about this
like
woman
you buy
in
a
Malaysia,
Milo packet, you buy the
pregnant
Milo
lady.
Oh
She
yeah,
follow the
You
truck.
guys are reading the same things I'm reading,
She follow the truck all the way.
right?
Yeah.
She followed. Then what? I didn't.
But still the best Milo I've tasted is still the Milo
Her
part.
husband or someone followed the truck all the way then just to get the Milo.
Right?
Ew,
And then what
just
happened
like
after that?
that.
Or the
So
the
she
packet one,
couldn't reach.
or the
She didn't get to the
packet.
truck, right? Then
Oh.
Milo read the post.
You say.
And what did Milo do? In Malaysia, they
I
send
thought you
the
like the
truck
packet
to
one.
her.
It's
Now, is that good publicity or not?
yeah.
Man, when I read that, I was like, damn, Milo, that is really, really good publicity, right? What is stopping you from creating a stunt like that? I often wonder whether that is staged or not. I often wonder. Right? The other one that I saw recently was the Grab driver, Grab motorcyclist in Malaysia or Indonesia that look alike.
Indonesia.
Malaysia, is it right? Malaysia, is it? Okay. Apparently, the Grab motorcyclist and the passenger same face. The first thing that came to my mind, publicity stunt. The first thing that came to my mind, what are the odds really? Right? But that's me lah, because I always at the back of my mind, it must be a publicity stunt, you know. But anyways, what's stopping you from doing that for your project? Right? Like do something like what Milo did, you know, and get away with it. Right? Because the general public is not as discerning. Only the people who are in marketing and PR and all that, right, can kind of like tell, is it staged, you know? But the general public in general, right, will not see it that way.
I went for Grab.
Okay?
The guy had
Maybe I'm just very
said
jaded lah. So I always like must be something up one it's not for
no,
real.
just started doing it because
Okay?
my account
So
is
you
not
must be able to know, right? So of course as a PR consultant as well, how to decide on content, you must think about what are the major events or occasions. What can you use to your advantage in order to put out a story or a press release or get the media's attention or get your readers, your audience's attention? Right? What are the major events or occasions that you can use? So in Singapore's case, they always like to tie it with, say, National Day. Like now they released that song, right? The National Day song, which has every Singaporean celebrity or singer that you can think of that's in there.
Oh yeah.
Come on,
Right?
Yeah.
And then those who are not in there is like, you better be loser lah.
Come on,
Like, how
Lydia.
come you're not in there? Right? Because everybody is in there. By the way, is Sam Willows really disbanding?
Serious?
Yes or no?
Just going for their solo careers.
Yeah, I believe, I don't know lah. They just want to do their solo thing and then come back together. Yeah. So anyway, you need to know that. Okay, you must know. We've done influencers in tutorials already. Why micro-influencers are important as well. You will probably know how to answer. If you need to come up with an example, you can use micro-influencers or influencers. Alright? And then I talked about LinkedIn. This one, I'll tell you straight up that it's more for reading. Okay, I'm not going to test you specifically on LinkedIn, but you can use it as an example. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I am done. Okay? However, let me see if there's anything else I need to tell you. Questions? Questions? No? We're all going to ace it?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't forget again, your A4 sheet, for those who walked in late, your A4 sheet, do not give me a reason or give the invigilator a reason to say we cannot accept this because something.
They call me.
Because if that's the case, then you're dead. You need that, right? Because it's open book. Okay, so do not give me a reason or invigilator a reason to say you can't use this. Okay, just copy as per normal. I think you all know this because you've been doing this. Have you ever had a closed book test?
Yes.
Yes.
Which subject?
Close book or
Close
book?
book.
SM and
Oh, SM and SM.
Close ah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tak on, I should make mine close.
No.
Yeah. So, no reason to fall sick, okay? To fall sick, especially since it's Friday, the last paper. Okay, so please give me a bit of faith. No reason to fall sick, okay?
No, actually one is really
Um,
requested little bit only.
Any questions?
Yeah. It's 4 questions only.
No? Okay.
Yeah, it's I read. You
Okay.
know study only.
Um,
He gave you everything.
There are about 4 questions
For like A or
with parts.
I will read through. I will not study. I will read.
Okay, 4 questions with parts. It will
I
be
like to test my
clearly.
doubts.
Hi Aaron, how are you?
Very sorry. I'm really
Good things only, Aaron. It will be clearly mentioned what questions refer to case study. Okay, there are about I think 2 questions that are more theoretical. Okay, then mostly the rest, the parts are all based on the case study, and you need to identify. Case study will be released 24 hours before. I think you're saying correct.
how long is the case study?
All people got everything.
You will find out on Thursday.
No. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, teachers got classes for the teaching.
The questions that you went through in
Usually
tutorial,
question and
right? Roughly like that, except that those questions are quite open-ended. Right? As I said, my questions will always very clearly tell
No, I
you,
open brain.
list and explain any 2.
Those cannot use
State
also.
and elaborate any 3.
Just more narrow down lah.
So you know what exactly and how much to write. Look at the number of marks as well, then you know how much to write.
That's right. It's not
Okay.
can. It's formal.
Besides that, one gentle reminder, during your break, I understand Ms. Liu has already gone through with you guys as well and clarified with you your IA, your individual assignment. So you now know that you can actually take any 5, right?
Yeah.
It's not limited to press release, yeah?
Consult her first.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm doing in my class as well. So please remember,
She said it to me.
where is it? Okay, here it is. Okay, please remember it is due late June, 20 something June, 28, is it 28 or 29 June, right? You want to start thinking about it, and this is your guide as well as your writing, right? What is the purpose of the piece from a peer point of view and all that. So use this in your
Very good.
student kit as a guide when you're writing or putting together your IA. And then there will be a link in LMS for you to submit the PowerPoint slides there. Alright? And please, your images or whatever you screen grab or whatever, try not to make it too heavy. Try and just give a clear enough, right, resolution at least we can see. Try and shrink the file. Okay, so that it's not too, otherwise your whole PowerPoint deck becomes very thick, very heavy. If not, convert it to PDF or whatever is convenient for you.
Okay.
Alright? Questions? No? If not, I wish you all the best for MST. I want to give all of you good marks. So please copy correctly and apply correctly. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.